Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. We are back with It's Only a Closet. Our host, Wendy Scott, joining us, Timeless Closets and Cabinetry. So excited that we're here today to talk about the Mansion in May preview. We're going to get to that with all specifics, introduce you to some amazing people involved. First and foremost, Wendy Scott, thank you for being back here. How are you?
I'm great. How are you, Jill?
Fantastic. Everything is going well, and it's always a pleasure to see you here, and you always have something new and interesting to talk about. For those that may not know, give us a little background about what you do at Timeless Closets and Cabinetry, please.
So Timeless Closets and Cabinetry is exactly that. We make and design closets and specialty cabinetry for New Jersey. Sometimes we sneak into New York and Pennsylvania. And I often get to do a special project. And we did a podcast about this last year. And we showed that other mansion in May, the one called the Wild Fair. So the mansion in May is coming up again. And I'll let the ladies explain, our lovely guests explain kind of what that is. So the new one is coming up and we're right in the meat of it. And Mary and Barbara, who are our special guests, are actually the co-chairs for the Mansion in May. So I'm going to let them introduce who they are and what they do, and then we'll just dive right in. Mary, you can go first.
Okay. I'm Mary Courtemanche. I co-chair Mansion in May along with Barbara Ruane. And Mansion in May is the premier fundraiser for the Women's Association for Morristown Medical Center. And the mission of the Women's Association is to raise funds and do healing services for the hospital. So clearly Mansion in May falls under that mission. And this year we are raising $2 million for the Proton Therapy Center at the hospital.
I'm Barbara Ruane. I'm the other co-chair. Mary and I co-chaired one 2 years ago. It was called Three Fields and it was in Mendham. This one is called Wild Fair and is in Chester, New Jersey. Okay, so this is our 21st mansion. We started back in 1974. Wow. And we've fundraised over $13 million that we've donated to various projects within the hospital. Wow. So we're a very significant fundraiser for the hospital. And we're so looking forward to Wild Fair.
And that 13
Everyone
million
comes and visits us.
Yeah. That 13 million is just from Mansion in May alone. Overall, the Women's Association has raised over $30 million for the hospital since our inception.
Wow. Congratulations. This is amazing. Now,
this is year 50 for the Mansion in May?
Yes, last year was year 50. This is our 51st. So we did a little celebration of 50 years last year.
Wow.
Great.
This is actually my room from 2 years ago.
That's right. You told me about this and I've seen the pictures. So how does it work now? How many designers, how many people are involved in this? And how do you get selected?
So I'll answer the beginning of that.
Okay.
In the beginning, I want to say they start in 1 year out looking for a home.
Absolutely.
And then in that, I want to say it was around September, they send out a message to all interior designers and people and landscapers and people in the field, and they invite them to come and tour the home in its raw space. And then once we've seen the space, we come up with a concept, which is the storyboard of what we would like to present to be in that room. And if you're chosen, you find out in November. And then in January, you get to start building your space. And then it turns over into May. Which is the entire show, but much, much more goes into that. And I don't know if this is where your presentation starts, ladies, or if you want to add on to what I said.
Well, I will say our committee is over 60 women because there's so many facets of Mansion in May that you need co-chairs for each little piece in order to make it all work. And Wendy's overview was absolutely correct. So right now, everyone is in the thick of creating their rooms and getting them done.
This at Wild Fair, we'll have 38 different design interior spaces and we'll have 17 landscape spaces. And our designer show house is unique in that we always get a house that has historic significance. So this estate has been there since in the last 220 years. The house itself has been added onto 3 times. It sits on 55 acres. So we have a barn, we have chicken coops, we have a riding rink. Our family that owns it now are tapping the trees for maple. They have 2 big fields that they plant with vegetables and clover. So it's a very interesting and gorgeous visit.
So the mansion has, so they were talking about how there's always a bunch of different chairs and all the different things that go into a mansion. Are either of you able to tell about the process of finding the house?
Sure. We have a mansion search committee who is always on the lookout, always keeping their eyes open, probably even right now while we're in the thick of it. So they will look around. They have connections with realtors. They have connections with Barry Thompson, our historian, who's written a few books about the area. So he knows some of the more historic homes in the area. And it just is a lot of times word of mouth or something, that a house that's been on the mansion search's radar for a while, and they finally realize, ooh, wait, it's for sale, or the ownership is changing, whatever. It's hard to describe because it's just kind of very organic. It just sort of happens. This particular mansion, our owners, the Epifanos, knew the owner of 3 Fields, and they had spoken about the process at 3 Fields. And so the Epifano family became interested in doing Mansion in May at Wildfair.
So to explain, Barbara, to Jill, what happens to the family in the home? They basically can you describe what the process is for the home on the homeowner side?
Sure. Generally, the home is vacant from January of the year we do the mansion, because in January is when the designers move into the house to start their work on their rooms. So it would be almost impossible to have anybody living in the house. We're lucky with this house in that the Epifanos had just purchased it and had not yet moved in. They were still in their old house. So they were happy to philanthropically lease it to us for the mansion.
And then they get it back second week in June? Is that?
They do. That June 16th, they'll move back in, and we are all out by then. Everything has moved out. We could talk about some of the events that we're having. So we have general admission tickets, which allows you to come into the mansion and see it, tour the landscaping. Then you could go to lunch in our barn bistro, and you could shop in our boutiques and really take a look at this beautiful estate on 55 acres. In May, the price goes to $55. It's currently $50. So we're encouraging people to purchase their tickets before May 1. But in addition, if you want a more intimate look at the mansion, you can purchase private tour tickets. We have them for the morning, 4 mornings a week, and we have them for the evening, two evenings a week. And with that, if you purchase a morning tour, it's $125, and you also get a box lunch. So a lot of women get together and come with their friends for those. They form a group of 10 so that they have the private guide all to themselves, and they spend the day with us. In the evenings, it's not quite as expensive because we don't give a box lunch. We're hoping that you and your friends, when you come for the evening and tour the mansion, you'll then participate in one of the very fine restaurants, either in Mendham or Chester. Then in addition, we have some special events. We have a preview party on April 26th. And this is first view of the mansion. This is a pretty exciting party. You have a first view at the mansion, and then you go over to the Barn Bistro in 10, and we have a cocktail party with music. We also have a tea, which is in the afternoon of May 8th, I think.
7th.
May 7th. We have Tom Salaki of Square Acres Landscaping, and he's going to do a lecture on sustainable gardening. And at that lecture, we'll have tea and tea sandwiches and scones. And then we also have Motown at the Mansion, May 10th, a Saturday evening, where you'll tour the mansion, you'll tour the gardens, go back to the barn. We'll have a sit-down dinner, and then we'll start to dance to Motown.
Oh,
So we
my
have a lot
goodness.
of different events that people can attend.
Well, I checked out your social media pages before. It was Instagram, and I think that's a preview of that is the mansion that's up there right now. It looks like that we had the drone
Yes.
shots of it. I could see. I think Premier Pools. By the way, Premier Pools did my pool. It looks like they're a sponsor for you all as well. But that house is insanely beautiful, and I'm looking at all the work that's going into it, and with the landscaping, the designers, the building. I mean, it is just spectacular. I wish we could. Oh my gosh, I wish we could see it. Yeah, it's gorgeous.
You can see teaser shots by all the designers throughout, but no full shot of the room.
Yes,
And
exactly.
it will be once you hit June 1st, then everybody can put their photos and videos up. Just to segue off of two things that Barbara said is one is about this, they have the shops at the end, but one of the really cool things that as designers we get is everything in our room is for sale.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, if you were walking by mine, I'll lean over to the right, every single piece of those clothing were for sale. The pink flower in the window was for sale. You have there's paintings and artists that bring stuff in, and everything is for sale. And all of the money again goes back towards the charity, correct?
Well,
Or-
Yes.
80%. You as the
Right.
you
Mhm.
retain 80%.
So that's why the preview party is a really great event to go to, because you are one of the first to get through the house and see things. So honestly, that beautiful sofa in one of the rooms has not sold yet.
Mhm.
So you can buy it, or you can buy the curtains or whatever else in various different rooms. So whether you're buying something from the boutiques, which is more sort of gift oriented, or if you're buying something in the house, 20% of the sales goes back towards our goal of raising $2 million.
Wow. Impressive. Go ahead.
So Jill, you mentioned the pool being a sponsor, and so the mansion gets very generous sponsors. Benjamin Moore is
Mhm.
one, and they donate all the paint that all the designers get to use throughout the house. Do you ladies have a list of the other sponsors, or did I throw you to the wolves on that one?
I saw Susan Farsi interior design, but I'm sure there's
Yes.
plenty of other people
She
too.
is designing the
There's-
bedroom.
Okay.
She's actually she's in the bedroom next to me.
Oh, okay.
That's right. That's right.
I'm quickly
She's in the bedroom
going
next to
to
me.
our website.
Right.
Which is
Da-da-da. Oh,
mansionandmay.org.
perfect.
We will list that in the video. I'll make sure the producer, when he edits out the realtor,
all right.
puts
Here
in
we
the
go.
information for the website. Go ahead, Mary.
Benjamin Moore, Lixel, Artistic Tile, Cravat, Wolf Sub-Zero and Cove, Denta Trading, Design NJ, The Tile Shop, Garden State Tile, Exceptional Flooring, Foley Rentals, Interchange Technologies, Atlas Marble and Granite, LF Driscoll, that's MD Tile and Granite, Epic. I mean, the list goes on and on and on.
So there's a full list on the website, and what they'll do is they'll donate like a portion of the cost to something. So if you see the light that is in my room that's above my head, that is from Visual Comfort. Visual Comfort gives a discount to the designers to put pieces into their rooms. Exceptional Flooring does a donation with regards to you're not paying full price, because a lot of what goes into these mansions we as designers are paying for. But the benefit is it's like having a pop-up showroom. So when you're doing a really fun thing for charity, you're meeting clients, you're meeting other designers, and you get that pop-up showroom. So it's kind of a fun thing. You get a lot of a higher tiered client, which is nice. I've had some really great clients come out of this, and it's fun. Again, even your vendors. So I'm like, I'll contact my vendor and say I'm putting something in, and I won't have to pay full price. I can get discounted rates for what goes in there, so that we don't have to have such a big fee that goes in there. But we also get a lot of fun opportunities to be creative and do things that we are the boss. We get to put what we want in. We don't have to listen to what the client wants. We can go a little off the reservation, get into some trouble.
Good points.
Well, and as you said, Wendy, there will be on average 22,000 people come through the mansion to see it. So it is an incredible showcase for designers and landscapers to be a part of this, because that's 22,000 pairs of eyes looking at their spaces.
And it lives on beyond that, because we have a website where we put up the designers, both landscape and interior. They stay up for a year from the time we put them up. And we do a coffee table journal, which is, that's
Yes, I read about that too. Tell us more.
Yeah. So this is a journal where we explain what our cause is. We explain we have a retrospective of all the mansions that we've held over the last 50 years. We give a picture because so many people like to point out, oh, I've been to that mansion. Oh, I remember this. I remember the room in that. And then we also put all the renderings in from the designers. So when Wendy sent in her rendering of her closet, that will be in the book. So if you're a guest and a year from now or 6 months from now, you say, gee, I really love that closet, but I can't remember who did it. You pick up your coffee table journal and you find Wendy's name.
And they are collector books. I have all of mine. This is actually my fifth one. I didn't make it in, but this is my fourth one. So you don't always get it. You definitely have to have a concept that a committee again will also pick from. And then what a lot of people will do is we have professional photos taken. And as soon as that photo is done, you get your picture, you run to a place and they make little postcards. And those postcards are in each room. And then they can take a postcard, they stick it in, and now they have another piece to remember. And you see people walking around with their books and all these postcards are hanging out.
It's true.
And you also get a shopping list. So as everyone is preparing the rooms, they're also preparing a shopping list that the mansion ladies then get. And so there's a committee for that as well. And they track what is for sale. So as you walk through, you pick what you want. You get to the end of the tour and you say, is this still available? I would like to buy it. I believe you pay at that point.
You pay
and
at
then
designer sales.
someone comes to our room and crosses it off. It's no longer for sale. Or I could say, I have that denim jacket over my shoulder. That's for sale in 4 different sizes, and reorders are available. And then they will, as it's going down, once it's no longer available, it's no longer available. And then on June 1st or 2nd, we run into the room, we bag it all up. The homeowners get to walk through the house again, and then they get to take their bag of goodies.
Oh my goodness. I
So
love this.
we are tracking everything. And I would say, what do you think, ladies? I'm going to think 90% of what goes into a mansion comes back out.
Meaning by the designer or sold?
By the designer. So I was lucky this year, this closet stayed behind.
You mean what's put in? I see what you mean. You don't got it. Well, in that regard, once the house is done and decorated, the owner gets to go through the house and say, oh, I love that wallpaper. It can stay. But if the owner says, don't like that wallpaper so much, it needs to come down, then the designer has to remove the wallpaper and paint the room the neutral color that was chosen by the owner. So it varies in how much stays and how much goes. It just depends on the owner and what they're looking for and what they like.
And sometimes the owner will work with you.
I was going to ask, do they have any
regards
input?
to-
Yeah, in the beginning or no?
If it is a permanent installation, the designer works with the owner because it's permanent, it's going to stay there. But if this is just a room that, I can decorate it however I want to, then maybe the owner might like the paint color or might like the wallpaper and it can stay. But otherwise, everything has to come out and the room has to be painted back to that neutral color and back to the way it was, usually better than when it started.
Jill, are we okay on time or are we
We're
going
good
a
on
couple
time.
minutes over?
Go, go, go.
Okay.
We're good. What else about Mansion and May did you want to discuss? We do have 3 more minutes left.
So you can buy your tickets now, and they said right now they are a little bit less expensive. And you can also donate.
And there's group sales too. I saw that. Uh-huh.
Correct. And this one is in Chester, correct? Or Mendham?
Correct. This is Chester.
Chester.
The last one was Mendham.
Chester, because you know why? Because I looked how far I live from where it is. I want to come and see it. I'm like April 10th.
That's great.
Well, think of it
You're
this.
welcome. I'm all the way
Jill,
out
think
on
of it
Long
this
Island.
way.
Go ahead.
You only have to drive to Mendham
Yes.
because parking for Mansion and May is
Oh,
in Mendham
they bus
at
you?
80 West Main Street in Mendham. And then you park your car and then you get onto an Atlantic Health System shuttle bus,
Oh,
which will
wow.
take you to the mansion because we could not park all
Oh.
those cars on site.
Jill, if you
Oh.
want to go, I will get you a ticket.
Thank you
So
so much.
we want to
No,
know what day you're coming so we can make sure we make a deal.
I love you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. But yeah, it's 88 miles from my house. So I guess depending on, timing, right? But thank you so much, ladies.
It's the entire month though, so it's the
I know.
entire month
But
of
I
May.
saw April 10th. Is that like the initial cocktail party? What was the April 10th I saw before?
No, not April 10th. The initial cocktail party is April the 26th.
Okay.
26.
Oh my goodness. All right. I saw it wrong. Sorry. But obviously people want to reach out to you one more time. I'm going to ask your website, your social media pages, and then Wendy, of course, I'm going to ask the same for you.
So we are mansionandmay.org. Our website has everything you need, whether you want to buy tickets or just learn more or donate would be lovely. And
Volunteer. We need
volunteer would be wonderful. We need volunteers.
Volunteers, Jill, are docents that will sit in the room if the designer cannot be there, and they become your tour guide.
Oh, okay. Thank you for telling me. Thank you.
Well, we also use volunteers in admissions. They actually take your ticket. In parking, they show you where to park. In the cafe where they serve sandwiches, in landscape. We need a lot of volunteers to pull this off. We probably need about 700 people or people working different shifts during the month of May.
Wow. Well, I'm excited that you guys are here. Wendy spoke very highly of you all in the past and showed me obviously her work from the past, which you can see her right now in the beautiful closet she's in. Wendy, and just curious, how did you get involved with everyone with Mansion and May?
A long time ago, the Blairsden we had seen is when I saw the very first time that this event happened and submitted a design and then, walked through the preview and so forth. And I didn't get in that one, but I'm like, I got to try again. And so the Abbey was my very first one. I did it with SSS Closets and just did something really unique. It was like a fun craft room that just made out of closet parts. So it was a very interesting project. So once you're in, you were always on the list to call and find out. You find out a lot about this from Design New Jersey through social media.
And how do we find you, Wendy?
Timeless Closets and Cabinetry is for my website, my Instagram, my Facebook, and LinkedIn as well. So Wendy at timelesscc.com.
Awesome. Well, I thank you all for being here, for joining us. Wishing you the best of luck with this amazing project. And as you mentioned, raised over 14 million the past how many years?
50 years.
Oh, amazing. And continuing to do so. And I got to thank you to all your sponsors out there who are working hard, and Wendy Scott again for bringing everyone together to promote this even more. And I really hope to get out there. I will keep in touch with Wendy. And I can't wait to see it. I mean, I'm excited the way it looks now when I don't even see what you're doing inside because it's just a beautiful piece of property. But
Make sure you find Mary and I when you come to visit. We'd love to meet you in person.
Same here. Same for me and Wendy. Thank you so much. And Wendy, how do you want to close it out?
That's thank you, Mary and Barbara. We will send you a recording of this later, and we hope to see everyone at the Mansion in May.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a great day. Goodbye, everyone.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
Mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.